Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the show with me, your host. You know who you are, you know who I am, you know what's going on here. And for those of you who don't, look, I appreciate you guys joining me here. I've invited a bunch of people over from other channels, and I hope you guys are finding your way well here. Over on this show, we're all friends. Now, some of you may know me from other YouTube channels. If not, let me go ahead and introduce myself. You know, I'm the host of the show. I come from a large family of brothers. Each of us has our own foothold here on YouTube. Now, you in no way want to get me mistaken for my other brothers. I understand we sound the same, we look the same, we have the same senses of humor and the same interests, and even a lot of the same mannerisms. But in no way am I to be confused with my other brothers. We're all very, very different. And we'll be covering all that in a whole nother episode of the show. But today, I want to go ahead and talk about a subject that's been very near and dear to my heart for some time. And you may know it's Jeremy Dewitte of Metro State Special Services in Central Florida. You guys know who I'm talking about. A lot of the people that are coming over here in the early days of the show are very familiar with Jeremy Dewitte and what he did, because a lot of us are very familiar with some of the other channels that put out that type of YouTube. I'm my brother. So let me just have a couple words about Jeremy Dewitte right here, right now. Jeremy Dewitte, what a maniac, huh? He was born in 1980. He's a child of divorce. He grew up loving cop shows. He had desires to become a cop and a Navy SEAL and an Army Ranger. And he took it seriously. Too seriously, in fact. As you may know, at the age of 18, he got arrested he got in trouble for police impersonation. Years later, he got charged with being a sexual offender against a minor girl, which he lies about to this day. Very egregious. He blames her. And only the people that are new to Jeremy, the people that he's just now meeting, seemed to have any shred of sympathy toward his story about meeting a young woman in a bar and getting tricked by her fake ID, when in fact he was the one that had a fake ID which he bought off of a roommate of his and assumed his identity and went to the DMV and got his picture taken under his roommate's name. Since he was a known felon, Jeremy Dewitte, he couldn't work security or do the jobs that he wanted to do, so he did it under a fake name and a fake ID. It wasn't until sometime later when he got caught, because an officer knew Jeremy Dewitte, and during a security stop of talking to the security, he says, "You're not this guy on the ID, I know you." And that's when Jeremy got caught with using a fake ID. His excuse for having the fake ID was because he wanted to travel out of the country to Lebanon, because he had a friend that was medically dying and he wanted to go see her in her last days, which is, of course, another lie. Jeremy is notorious for telling lies. One of his most recent and famous lies is that he's been operating his funeral escort business clean for 10 years without a problem. And in fact, on one of the other channels, PoliceTube, he's been showing over and over that Jeremy has been having problems for the last 10 years with his business, but he fails to acknowledge it. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Jeremy Dewitte runs this business in Florida called Metro State Special Services, where he claims to be escorting funeral processions. And he does it under the guise of Florida Statute 316/1974, which says, basically that whole statute just says that if you're in a funeral, if you are going through a green light and the light turns red, you can keep going. So Jeremy takes that as it gives him free license to dress as police and operate as a police officer and direct traffic and run people off the road, all in the name of facilitating the movement of the funeral. Now, there are legitimate funeral companies out there that actually do it without doing aggravated assault and doing all the illegal things that Jeremy was doing. Funeral escort business, it's a great business, much needed service, as evidenced by people buying the service and wanting it. But Jeremy was doing it the wrong way. And he enticed other people into doing it the wrong way because he lied about who he was. He never told anybody that he was a registered sex offender and a police impersonator. He told them that he was a retired captain of the Army, a major. He probably even said general. He never told people that he was a police impersonator. In fact, he told people that he used to work for the police. And the bad news is that people actually believed him. And he played the role good. He dressed the part. He looked the part. He talked the part. In fact, I think even his wife believed him. But whenever Jeremy got around smart people that really started questioning Jeremy, and when Jeremy was backed in the corner and couldn't step away, like when he was being interrogated by John Ramsey or Sergeant Vidler or whatever, that's when Jeremy's lies would begin to break down once people start asking him, what branch of the military were you in? Jeremy's answer is something like, I can't say because it's highly trained. My wife was in overseas. I met my wife overseas. And people are just left wondering. Normally, Jeremy can walk away from that, and people just believe that they misunderstood. But watching Jeremy on these videos over and over and over lie, it's become apparently obvious over the last 3 years from 2019 to 2022 that Jeremy is a highly trained liar, a very advanced social manipulator. He's very smart at how he does it. I personally found the story very interesting once Real World Police started releasing their videos of this police impersonator banging on people's hoods and yelling at people and, getting arrested. I thought that was entertaining and he was getting what he deserved. But once I started looking in on the case, I realized, this guy's not in jail. He was arrested, but he was let go. He's being given a break. He's being let off. And I started looking into it, and that's when I discovered what some of these other channels were putting out there, some of the conspiracies, And oh boy, does it get deep with Jeremy Dewitte. Not only is he a lone police impersonator, but he has basically an entire police force that he set up. And he didn't use the brightest bunch, but he did have some trained people and some people that took their job very seriously, and they believed Jeremy Dewitte. And I believe Jeremy Dewitte really does still have some supporters to this day. Some people that actually believe in Jeremy and believe that he wasn't doing anything wrong and that he is the victim of crimes, not a perpetrator of them. Personally, for me, I wish the best for Jeremy Dewitte. I hope that he reforms himself before he truly starts hurting more people of the general public. Because he really could get himself hurt or somebody else out there hurt sometime in the future if he doesn't stop what he was doing. He's already hurt plenty of people, and he can pay his dues for that, and we can seek justice the best way we know how, but there's nothing we can change about the past. The only thing we can change with Jeremy is how he acts in the future. I've tried to always be honest with him. I've never tried to entertain him, like telling him I think you're innocent or I want to help you. I would personally give him a platform. If you want to put out a message, Jeremy, I would allow you to put out your message because I would like people to be able to hear the message and decide for themselves, and we can talk about it. And of course, obviously, it would be exposed. We would be nitpicking everything that he says, exposing any untruths. That's why it's important to give Jeremy a platform. And basically anybody else, I'm not allowed to, I don't want people to be advertising, especially repeatedly, but if somebody wants a voice in the community, I say give it to them. And let's all decide. Let's hear him out and we'll decide. That's my thoughts personally on Jeremy Dewitte and what he was doing. Now, some of the people that he attracted to him, both his men and the Jeremy Dewitte community, it's a very interesting community of people. And I've seen some of the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes. I've talked to some of his men and his employees, and I've talked to some of his friends. So I've heard what they've had to say about him. I've gotten a chance to speak to some of the other creators out there that make videos about him and do research on him. And it is a very interesting bunch. People talk about journalists. What is a journalist? Am I a journalist? Is the Police Tube channel a journalist? And personally, I would say no. Nobody considers themselves a journalist. This is more entertainment, infotainment. But if you can get any useful tidbits of anything from it, then more power to you. It sure has turned out to be an incredible community, though. The people that have been involved for a long time. I remember when the first Jeremy Dewitte video came out on Real World Police. I was there. I was watching it. And I was wondering, it says serial police impersonator caught by his own body camera or something like that. And I was watching it and I was like waiting for this cop to catch the serial police impersonator. He was chasing and chasing and chasing, but he was never getting anywhere. And then I realized, oh, we're watching the serial police impersonator's body camera. And then I got excited because I realized, this guy is going to be a lot of entertainment. And I didn't even realize it, but there was a whole community of people that were interested like that. And long before me, these other creators came along that I had never even heard about. I had always only been interested in Real World Police putting out original Jeremy videos with no commentary. The only other channel that I ever got interested in was Dr. Phil's channel when he put Jeremy on his TV show. That's when I was like, I got to record this because this is the best thing since Real World Police. And that's when I decided, wait, no. Did I decide? No, somebody decided. That's when PoliceTube decided, my brother, to make a Jeremy Dewitte video and jumping into the mix. But that's when all of our eyes and our whole family got open to this whole community of people that were out there that were all somehow involved with Jeremy Dewitte. Whether it be people that work for him or people that are just entertained by watching his videos on the internet. And there's been a couple side communities that spring up as well. But I think the best community is right here on YouTube. I think that's a fact. I think there's basically a triad of great channels out there that put out Jeremy Dewitte content. A lot of channels have come and gone. But right now, present time, there's basically a triad. Then as far as the community itself of people that like watching these videos, basically, from my knowledge, I can gather that there's about 20,000 to 50,000 people that like to tune in and watch Jeremy Dewitte videos on YouTube every single day. And over about a 90-day period, there's somewhere between 250,000 and 750,000, between 250,000 and 750,000 unique people that are watching Jeremy Dewitte videos. And that's been going on for a long time. And the numbers are growing. Of course, as anything does, it comes and goes in waves. But right now the waves are getting bigger, which means the highs are higher and the lows are higher. We're experiencing an uptrend right now in people that are interested in the Jeremy Dewitte community. And I think if Jeremy really does have any hopes of ever getting a series or something like he wants on TV, which I think is like old school thinking, wanting to get picked up by some TV show or Netflix or something, he's got to start thinking independent stuff on the internet. I think he has a few people to thank out there that have kept his story in the public interest. Personally, I don't think Netflix or Hulu, like Jeremy dreams, is going to pick up his story. What I see for Jeremy is an animated series that's like Dudley Do Right or Boris and Natasha, where the Orange County Sheriff's deputies are always doing whatever they can to catch this obvious criminal, Jeremy Dewitte, but Jeremy's always slipping away. And the character wears this bright yellow. Somebody on one platform drew a cartoon photo. Fraudy used it up on his channel recently as a thumbnail image for one of his videos, if you want to check that out. But that just inspires all sorts of cartoon ideas. And I think Jeremy could make a very good living voicing these characters in an animated Jeremy Dewitte series. What do you guys think about that? Personally, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Jeremy's still into law enforcement and he wants to sue. And he's really still feeling like he got the short end of the stick. He feels like he did nothing wrong. The time that he has been spending in prison has not reformed him. It's only solidified his positioning as saying that he's innocent and that he was set up. And it's really sad because it's not helping him. It's not helping anybody. But it is what it is. It just goes to show that we're going to be given years of Jeremy Dewitte follow-ups, checking out what antics he's getting into, because he's not going to start going to church or the mosque dressed in his normal clothes. I sure do love you guys. Thanks for joining us on here. I'm going to be putting together more shows. You know me, I'm your host. I appreciate you guys coming over here and joining us here. From all my brothers and from the whole Jeremy Dewitte community, welcome. And thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like and leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Appreciate you watching. As always, make sure you have yourself a great day.